everybody. Welcome to our notes, our first notes as a new collective group of Bethel Online. Hopefully this week has gone good so far. Our notes won't always be at the beginning of the unit in this. We kind of place them where they make some sense. And here, I felt like yesterday this unit was very important to kind of get to. And then notes, well, as you'll see, this vocab right behind here, our first slide is very similar. And then there'll be all the stuff that's kind of coming forward. Just as a reminder to everybody, what you're going to do here is you should have a piece of paper and a pencil, and you should be taking notes alongside with me. You can pause it, write something down, rewind, all you need. And then when you are done, and these notes are not your notes, but then you're done, you got to take a picture. This is a bad picture. I can't read anything. In fact, when you take a picture, you don't even need my face in it, right? You can just get it right up there, or your own face in there. You can take that picture, and then maybe take a second picture as much as your notes allow. Upload those pictures for me. They got to be clear. It's got to be thorough. You got to have all those notes. If you just have one or two of the problems in part of it, I'm going to say, hey, where's the rest of it? All right, so with that, let's put me back down in the corner and talk about some of the things that we are going to do here. So the first thing is, and not everything is going to be written by me. You need to make sure you write down some of the big important parts, but this is EE2 evaluate expressions. That should be along the top of your paper, please. Then, you are welcome to start writing this vocabulary that you see below it, that all of this should be written. I'm just going to talk through it and explain. A variable is a symbol that represents one or more numbers, right? We had a lot of this yesterday, what D or E or R or S or X or Y. X and Y is going to be the most frequent. Whatever those mean, those could stand for a lot of things. So yesterday we talked about $10 for showing up and then $2 per delivery. So the variable was D for deliveries, and that's depending on how many deliveries she made. Second one there, an algebraic expression is a mathematical expression that contains numbers, operations, and variables. This is basically one of those whole problems. So 3x plus 7, right? That is numbers, 3 and 7, operations, plus and times, variables, the x. Okay, something like that. And then you evaluate an expression by substituting a number in for the variable. So if we go back to that $10 for showing up plus 2 for deliveries, if I do 3 deliveries, we would do 2 times 3 is $6 plus the original 10. But first we would have put the 3 in for the D. So I'm going to move on to the next page. If you're not done writing these down, pause it, press play when you're done. All right, steps to solve plus this big order of operations and PEMDAS part. So PEMDAS of some sort is super duper important. It is very important in this case that we write down this kind of stuff right here, but you make sure you don't miss the or. Okay, basically it's parentheses first, then exponents, then multiply and or divide. We do both of those together. I know it says or divide is fine. We do those together, and then add and subtract. But they're grouped. It's like check this first, second, check both of these together, third, and these fourth. I don't know if you've seen, there are conversations on social media about like solve this order of operation problems, and inevitably there's two sides to it. The number one issue for that is people that think multiplication has to come before division, and so they will skip over something to do that. No, multiplication and division are done at the same time, left to right. Okay, so you might just copy down that whole page like it. You have to show me something about order of operations on your page, however you think it would help you to write it. There's a lot of examples there. And then, and it's actually kind of in the wrong order there, but then we got to talk about the steps to solve. These are our big keys for this lesson up here, steps to solve. And that is what we talked about yesterday. First, rewrite the expression, substitute the values for the given variable, and then to follow that order of operations. Okay? So we should have the title. We should have this vocab. We should have something about order of operations and those steps. Now, the next thing that you need is we're going to start talking about formulas. So it's kind of weird that these are going together, but in fact, formulas are a really great thing to add to what we're going to do. So there's formulas here, that we're going to talk about all these. And honestly, that's what we're working on next week and the like. So these are actually the same sort of idea. They are an expression that we're going to find values and substitute them in for. That's kind of how it works. So area is the space on the inside. It's the square units needed to cover a space. Look at the rectangle below. It's 4 by 2. The area of a rectangle is length by width, although we will talk about it frequently as base times height. Same with the square, because then that makes it pretty simple. Rectangles, squares, and parallelograms are all base times height. So rectangle, square, and parallelogram have the formula area equals base times height. Now, when you look at this, the base here of 4, all right, so basically this problem up here is saying b equals 4 and h equals 2. And that goes back to what we learned yesterday. All right, instead of the b, I'm going to write a 4. Instead of the h, I'm going to write a 2. All right, 4 times 2 is 8. Okay. One of the big other pieces that we need to work on here is the idea of square units. We're going to be using square. So if they have a unit, if they don't say anything, you're going to do like U for units squared. If this was inches, then it would be inches squared or feet squared. But that label is important. Make sure you label it like that. Okay, so rectangle, square, and parallelogram are all base times height. Base is along the bottom, and then height is at a 90-degree angle in every single one of them. Even the parallelogram that looks like it's kind of pushed over, height is still at a 90-degree angle. In fact, if I were to take this triangle right here, cut it off, and put it over here, you would have a rectangle. And that's why it's still base times height. Now, a triangle has a different formula. You need to make sure you write down all of these formulas, but a triangle is 1/2 base times height, or sometimes a triangle will be base times height divided by 2. Why? Well, because a triangle, if I made a second triangle and put it roughly like this, look, that's a parallelogram, which I could cut off this part right here and bring it back over here, and I'd have a rectangle. So it's basically half of that. It's half of one of these. Now look, I could go back to my rectangle and I could cut a line diagonally and I would have a triangle, a square, I would have a triangle, and even this parallelogram would have a triangle. So a triangle is half of all these other shapes. So it's base times height divided by 2. Once again, pause if there's anything there you need to write down, but you should. It's very important that you have the rectangle, square, parallelogram, and triangle formulas here. Then the trapezoid. The trapezoid is the most confusing one just because it's got the most difficult formula. But it's a quadrilateral with 2 parallel sides. The other ones don't matter. You see a bunch of examples below. So it has 2 sides that are exactly parallel and then a bunch of lines that fit together. So this is a little bit confusing. And we're actually going to watch a video next week, I think, that kind of goes over how a trapezoid is formed and where the formula comes from. But essentially, this is the formula. 1/2 height. Height is the height at the 90-degree angle. And then parentheses, base 1 plus base 2. So you add the top and the bottom base together. So this, in this case, here's the top base. There's base 1 plus base 2. You add those together. You multiply it by how tall it is. And then you cut that in half. Long story short, basically, I could put 2 trapezoids next to each other like this, or like this, or like this, and it's basically a parallelogram again. So we're finding a parallelogram and cutting it in half, but it's a little more complex. So we'll get to that explanation more in the unit, but this blue box, this explanation with the pictures of the height, the B1, the B2, and writing the formula down there are all vital, important for you to write down. Now, the last couple of formula things we're going to work with are a circle. So a circle has a circumference around the outside. It's basically that red line that I did. That is the circumference around the outside. It's the perimeter of a circle. Okay, now, we found out that the diameter goes straight across. I guess these should be here too. So diameter is straight across, and radius is from the middle out. So radius is middle out. Here's a couple other things to write. Radius is half of the diameter. Diameter is 2 radiuses. And look at that. The diameter goes all the way across. The radius is from the middle out. So if I put 2 radiuses together, I would have that diameter, right? But a circumference is taking 3 of those diameters and you get pi. And we'll look at this more in the actual lesson. But it's really important to write down those formulas. Circumference is pi times diameter, or circumference is 2 pi r, which once again, that's because a diameter is 2 radiuses. So 2 times r is the same as just diameter. Now, one other thing to note, we will, throughout this unit, instead of pi, we will write it as 3.14. So you can kind of think of circumference as 3.14 times the diameter, or circumference equals 2 times 3.14 times r. Okay, so that's the circumference piece. Finally, area of a circle is very similar, except for area of a circle is all this inside area. And so the way they figure that out is they do pi, area equals pi, times radius squared. So we do need to know the radius, and we'll look at this more later, but if you're given a diameter, you will have to kind of cut that in half to find the radius. But then we basically just do 3.14 times the radius squared, and due to order of operations, we do the radius squared first, and then multiply it by 3.14. You can see here, basically the formula that they get, the base is half of the circumference, times it by the radius. The circumference is 2 pi r, so cancels each other out. Pi times r, which is the same as pi r squared. We'll look at more of that as the units go, but you do need this formula. So, final recap of everything you need. You should have the title, the vocab, the order of operations, the steps to solve, the formulas for rectangle, square, parallelogram, triangle, trapezoid, circumference, and area of a circle. Make sure you do label this as area of a circle, because technically these are areas of trapezoids, rectangles, so on and so forth. So you go. There's our notes. Write that all down, make it look all nice, send me a copy so I know you did it, and then use it all week long.